Yeah, I want to try a little comparison here, and I know these two instruments on the right are not really designed for sawing wood, more like rope or maybe something minor. Could be plastic too, for all I know. This is an Ozark trail saw, $10 from Wally World, and surprisingly, it's a very good saw. It doesn't have much use on it, so it's very sharp. These two, very little. This no use. This is very little used. This is an M48 Tactical Commando Ozark steel from United Cutlery, and that's the USA Estwing carbon steel. That's, I don't know if that's powder coated or what that is. I'm not sure what the finish is on it, but it's carbon steel. This is Ozark stainless steel, and this is stainless steel. So let me see. I'm just going to do this on some pine. So we'll do the one right here, where it's at. Yeah. Now, this is an actual saw. Now you'd expect that to go through, right? Now, you're looking at the blades. Well, this one has about as long as a blade, and the teeth are more, they're further away from each other on the vertical, going, that way, this way, right? The teeth on the one on the S-wing, which is on the right, on the upper part of your camera, right? Well, we'll see what that does. I'm just curious. Now, this is pretty light stuff, so this is pine, right? So we shall see. You know what? This thing doesn't saw as good, but doesn't saw too bad. Whoever tells you can't use this as a saw, it'll work on like lumber, pine. Not as well. You can see it's a thicker cut than a real saw, because you're taking out twice as much material. But for taking out twice as much material, it's going about the same speed as far as material removal, but not going through it, because you're taking twice as much the width. But still, it saws. And you got quite a bit more teeth on there versus the Ozark saw. So that thing can saw. Some people used to wondering, like, can that saw? Now this is damn wide. Probably a rope cutter. You know what? Who the hell tells you this thing can't saw? I'm kind of in a funny position here, but I'd say that cuts pretty quick. So for them to say, like, I have the Big Brother K-bar, which is it's what the hell's a blade on that? I forget, like 9 inches or something, and 8 3/4 inches. Their standard K-bar blade is 7 inches, and the little one is 5 1/4. That has a serrated edge on it, but it's such a small serrated edge, it's not really made for sawing. This thing you can actually saw with, which is damn good considering how big it is. You got a knife, you got a saw, you got a pretty good chopper. It's already sawed out, so it's chopping a lot easier, but still can't really get in there with this bar. But it's a pretty good chopper. It's heavier than a K-bar, so I'm extremely well sold on this cheap 1999 M48 Tactical Commando. It's got, like I said, it had on the other video, I said it's got Ozark stainless steel, which is a medium high quality stainless steel. It's pretty good stuff. Not the best in the world, but it's pretty good stuff. And it won't tarnish, even though it's black coated. It's definitely not going to tarnish with the black coating. So all these will saw. And considering that the performance on this Ozark is actually better than a lot of them, even though this is a $10 item from Wally World. It's a fold-up saw. You press that and it folds up, right? Then a release to take it out, you got to press this again and that'll release it. But considering that the Estwing and the other thing is a, the other X, whatever you want to call this, Tactical Commando M48, this one's a buy. This one is a buy. Don't, even though this is not an expensive knife, it's not crappy. This is a damn good knife. I'm surprised. For 20 bucks, that is, you know what, if the U.S. military used that, it probably would be, sell a lot more. Probably could be used by the U.S. military. It's probably that damn good. This carbon steel, made in the USA, handles all steel all the way through. But if you look at, this is the other thing. You look at the back of these. I don't know if it's showing up right on this camera. Let's put it on this whiteboard here. Somehow this is looking skinny over here, but this is actually, the one that's on the left is a lot wider. And now it looks more, you can more tell. This is a lot wider than this. This is a lot wider. The one on the left, which is your M48 Tactical Commando from United Cutlery. M48 is another one of the brands. I'm not sold on everything that says M48 or anything, but this particular one is damn good. If you're actually sawing something and you got to pry with it or something, the only disadvantage is it doesn't have as many saw teeth on it, but it is pretty freaking effective, man. It's a very effective tool for sawing. So that lays that to rest. I mean, now, this is just pine. This is just a freaking, 2x4. That's it. It's 2x4, right? Not dimensionally 2x4, but close to dimensionally 2x4. Yeah, well, that lays that to rest, because a lot of people say you really can't saw with this. You can saw with this. It takes about double the effort of using a good quality hand saw like this, and if you got a crappier saw like this, that's a compact saw, I'd say this thing would probably do pretty close to it, because this one actually saws a lot better than a lot of other stuff out there, even though it's freaking 10 bucks and it's not got very much wear on it. This thing, I think this has better steel on it. This is carbon steel. I don't know what it is, 1065. I'm just taking a guess. I don't really know what the hell's on this thing. Machete 1085, 1080, whatever. Not 1095. I'm sure of that. But it's got more teeth. The teeth aren't going to wear out as easy. And I also think that this Ozark saw, the stainless steel on this, is nowhere near as good as the stainless steel, this Aus 8 stainless steel on this, which I think you can sharpen this pretty damn easily with a regular, serrated edge sharpener that could get in there like a round file. This thing I ain't really sure how you would sharpen this thing. This one is very obvious how you would sharpen it. You just put a round file on one side, go through the dip, and you just go through the round file on the other side, go through the dip, and it would be sharp as like brand new again. And I think this thing would hold a much better edge, even though you're dealing with about half the length of saw blade, right? But still, it's sturdier. You're not going to bend this. This is a pretty damn sturdy camp saw. It doesn't bend that easy. This is actually freaking surprisingly damn good for 10 bucks. but it kind of makes me wonder what kind of steel, stainless steel's in it. I don't think it's anywhere near the quality of this, but the thickness on this, it won't bend it very easy, nor this. This is carbon steel. So, you know, some people reviewed these and they said, well, what's this serrated edge for? Well, you can saw with this, no problem. And with this, you know, I don't have a lot of room to get in here, but you got a lot of, you know, back and forth you can go. So if you got to make a clean cut in something, or you can't reach something that well, you know, maybe to chop because you don't have enough swing, and you just got to saw because you can't get in there and go like this. You don't have a real good angle. Maybe it's just a little area you got to get in there. Just get in there and you saw, do the job. So, but I am totally sold on this little puppy. This thing is actually extremely handy. This thing actually is a saw. This is not, it sounds like an exaggeration, but I'd say it's about half the speed of that Ozark. And that's pretty good considering it's really a strong knife too. So, you know, just for your information, just did a quick test now, but I like finding these things out because, you know, it makes logically it seem like it would probably work okay, and it does work okay. It does work pretty damn good. So this thing is actually far more of a multi-tool than you think. That's a very efficient serrated edge, and it can be very easily sharpened with the right kind of round file. Not sure how you would sharpen this bad boy up again. Not sure. I'm sure you could do it somehow, but I'm not sure. This one, not really sure how you would sharpen this one either. But that knife, I know how you would sharpen that. It's very simple. It's not that obvious in a camera, but you got, well, maybe it is here. You see, you know, where you could stick a round file in there, and then on the opposite side, a round file. That would make all those edges on the outside very, very sharp. And it's got a much better steel that doesn't rust than your typical saw. You know, the Aus 8 is some pretty good stuff. It's pretty hard, it's pretty good, pretty tough stuff, pretty wear resistant, and it's also very corrosion resistant. So that's a good damn tool, very good.